Have you played any of the other Digimon World games before? Jump on down into the comments section and let me know. Digimon World Next Order is a really Moorish game. I haven't played a Digimon game since the first Digimon World on PlayStation 1, and I forgot just how addictive these games can be. This may or may not be why this review is a little late. At first, I thought this was actually a remake because the start is so similar to the PlayStation 1 game, but you quickly find out a lot has changed, and you're following a whole new story. For fans of the series and previous games, you'll see a lot of familiar faces and a lot of familiar towns and areas, but there is plenty here keeping the series feeling new and fresh. This time around, you get to have 2 Digimon at a time. It's awesome because now you get to see Digivolutions twice as much, and let's face it, that moment of hell yeah when your Digimon starts to Digivolve is one of the best things about this series. 2 Digimon at a time though also means you are just doing more all of the time. You're managing 2 Digimon, so that's 2 Digimon to feed, train, take to the toilet, Digivolve, and all the rest of it. Everything you do can be done on either of your Digimon or both of them at the same time, so it doesn't necessarily have to feel like more work than previous games. But assuming you want to get certain Digimon, you're probably going to have to do some training and feeding individually to hit the right parameters. This is what Digimon is all about. I guess I was getting a little ahead of myself and assuming you already know about it, but for those that don't, I'll tell you what it is and what it isn't. Most people would assume this is some kind of Pokemon clone, but Digimon honestly plays nothing like Pokemon. It's really nothing like it at all. It's not about collecting them all, or becoming the very best like no one ever was. Although you will do a lot of battling, that isn't really what Digimon is about. Digimon is really about growing bonds. You take care of your Digimon and they'll take care of you. A lot of it may feel like busy work, like taking them to the toilet, but thankfully none of the base tasks are very difficult or hard to understand. When your Digimon prompts you to go to the toilet, you take it to a toilet and the rest is automated. It only takes a few seconds. Now, while I did say that Digimon is about forming bonds with your partner monsters, it might take you a little bit to get past the mechanics of it all. See, Digimon are like living, breathing pets, and unfortunately, they die, just like everything else. So that Digimon you've been training and digivolving will die of old age sooner or later, and it might die before it ever reaches its true potential. In fact, the first couple of Digimon you have are not likely to reach the final Digivolution stage, but it's not all morbid bad news. Once your Digimon die, they're actually reborn back into eggs. When they do pass on, you'll pick 2 new eggs which will hatch 2 new baby Digimon for you to raise and Digivolve all over again. Only this time they are likely to have been granted some of your former Digimon's power, making the whole process easier. Getting over this kind of play is probably the biggest hump for new players, but the longer you play the less jarring these stages become, and the more fun you have. The story is that you've been pulled into the digital world by a mysterious Digivice you won at a tournament. Some crazy strong Digimon have been terrorizing the digital world which you've been sucked into, and since you're one of the best trainers out there, it might as well be up to you to find out what all the hubbub is about. To progress in the game, you need to complete objectives. Your main objective upon starting the game is rebuilding the starting town. Unfortunately, the Machine Draymon attacked and drove away all the Digimon in the village, so the only way to rebuild it is by finding the Digimon out in the wild and convincing them to come back. When you head out into the large expansive maps, you'll find a mixture of friendly and not so friendly Digimon. The non-friendlies need to be fought or avoided while you're on your quest to win back the hearts of the friendlies. To get Digimon to head back to the village, you will usually have to complete an objective specific to them. They can be as simple as beating them in a fight, or bringing them some materials, with more difficult objectives happening later on. There are also some very cryptic objectives to be found. While most friendly Digimon will give you a very specific instruction, sometimes a Digimon will give you pretty much nothing and you'll have to figure out the puzzle for yourself. Once your town starts to pick up steam, you'll begin getting new objectives in order to progress, and as you move further into the game, you'll find progression is mostly about taking down the next boss. Keep in mind you'll be doing all this while you're on the up and down roller coaster that is the Digimon life and death cycle. Even the simplest of objectives can be flummoxed by all the little things you need to micromanage. The graphics are unlikely to win Best Technical Achievement at this year's Game Awards, but they successfully create the feel of playing in an anime world. It's kind of like the South Park games. They tried to recreate the feel of the show, and Digimon does the same here. They aren't ugly by any means, it almost looks exactly like watching the cartoon as I did when I was younger. The soundtrack on the other hand is pretty great, although it does get a little repetitive. At first I was rocking out to the guitar anthems and funky beats, the overall music is something I can hum along to, and the music that plays when a Digivolution starts combines with the excitement of Digivolving to be as addictive as hell. It's like crack. But later on you'll be hearing the same kind of track over and over, and it begins to lose a bit of its charm. Fans of the series will get a hell of a lot out of Digimon World Next Order, and newcomers to the series have a less punishing entry point than previous Digimon World titles. There is a hell of a lot to do, and there is a hell of a lot you need to overcome if you aren't used to raising virtual pets, but the longer you play, the harder it is to tear yourself away from it. It's one of the most addictive games I've ever played. Thanks for watching. If you like this review, hit that like button. Don't forget to leave a comment down below, subscribe to see more of me and everything I do, and if you like my content, you could consider supporting my channel on Patreon. Other than that, I'll see you all soon.